Mickey Mantle, is that what you're upset about? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year. How much does your father make?
I don't know.
You don't know? Well, see if your father can't pay the rent. Go ask Mickey Mantle and see what he tells you. Mickey Mantle don't care about you, so why should you care about him? Nobody cares.
Hey, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second ever episode of Nobody Cares Live. We are broadcasting you from the beautiful and friendly confines of Jimmy Mac's. This party room is glorious. Joining me on the show tonight to start us off is the one and only Bookie. Bookie, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you, Dan?
I'm doing very well, Bookie. It's great to see you are alive you know, you're not in the trunk of somebody's car this evening.
Yes.
To the guys waiting backstage in the studio, if it sounds good, can you give me a thumbs up? All right, good enough for me. We've got a full show on deck for everybody tonight, and we are fired up to talk about it. It's a big week here in local sports, Bookie, when we talk about high school basketball, boys high school basketball. The girls tournament just finished up.
Mm-hmm.
Big surprise here. The winner of the girls basketball tournament for varsity, you know who it was? I'll tell you. St. Joseph by the Sea, the Vikings.
Wow.
That's right, Bookie, not an animal, all right?
The Vikings, Seas.
They just dominated. The squad from Huguenot.
The whole tournament?
The whole tournament. They just represented the whole time. Josh Suslak, the varsity head coach, is going to be joining us in studio tonight. He's here live at Jimmy Mac's. He came out just for the pizza. I don't think he came out for us. Also joining us live on the show tonight, first time ever, is the proprietor of this restaurant, a local legend, Mr. Jimmy McBratney will also be joining the show tonight. We definitely cannot afford him to be on as well.
Oh, I mean, we really appreciate it, use the place.
Yeah.
To have a place to broadcast the show.
We really appreciate him letting us broadcast the show this evening here. We've also got Charlie Debiase from the Staten Island Advance, legendary sports reporter. He's also on the committee for the varsity tournament bracket choosing, so he's going to jump in and sort of give us a little bit of background as to how the bracket shook out this year. And we're also going to talk about the JV bracket. Even though he had nothing to do with that, he still knows a hell of a lot more than I do, Bookie. And you know that, don't you?
Yes. The only thing is, even we call ourselves Nobody Cares, but we really cares local community sports.
Yeah.
Especially, the boys and the girls, the junior highs and the high school.
We really care. We're really passionate, and we're so passionate that we want to show you the JV bracket on screen right now. Here is what we're looking at is MSIT will face off against Tottenville. It's Moore with a first-round bye. They are the number one team when it comes to the JV bracket. The number two squad in JV, no surprise here. It's the St. Peter's Eagles. They're dominant on JV and varsity this season. Wagner faces off against Port Richmond. The Sea Vikings come in at third here in the bracket. They get a bye. There's only 13 teams.
Very interesting.
In the JV bracket. So
yeah,
it could be
because
a little
they shake up the whole brackets because of the number 3 seeds get a bye.
Newdorp and Petrides. A lot to talk about there. Lots of fun around the 6-11. I'm excited about it. Farrell and Staten Island Academy, the Tigers entering the fold here in the first round, and Curtis plays CSI McCown. So that rounds up our JV bracket. We don't know much about anything here in local sports. And Bookie, as much as you love animals, don't even pretend like you know anything about JV
I know
basketball.
Nothing about basketball.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're going to look at the varsity bracket now as we get a little bit more prepared with this as we move along in the show, and we have more experts. You're a novice, sir, at pretty much everything in life. I'm surprised you walked in here today. Congratulations. We're going to have some experts talk about this bracket. As you can see, it's St. Peter's and Wagner moving on automatically with a first-round bye. Curtis is going to play Moore. C will take on Eagle Academy. That's a new name in town that people better get used to. Port Richmond takes on CSI McCown in your typical 12-5 matchup, possibly a Cinderella story there. Farrell and Petrides might be the most closely contested contest in the bracket. Tottenville and Staten Island Academy, and, of course, MSIT and Newdorp with that crosstown rivalry. Now, Bucky, I'm just going to get into your picks, and then we're going to kick you out of here. We'll bring you on later in the show.
You only bring me for 2 minutes segment, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Just show my face. This is Bookie. Everybody knows me. hello and goodbye.
Correct. We just want to make sure you're breathing. So let's have a look at your first pick up here. It says Sam, surface to air missile, number 6 seed MSIT versus number 11 seed Newdorp Seagulls, -7 over the Cougars.
7 points over the Cougars.
I don't understand what this means. Who do you like?
I like the Seagulls.
All right, then. That's a jinx. I'm sorry, Charlie Donohue. That's sad news for your school. Next up, we're going to need a Rosetta Stone for this. The most intrigued basketball tournament game, number 8 seed versus number 9 seed Warriors, -2.5.
You know why? Because the traditionals, the number 8 and the number 6 for the selection committee is very tough, and both team can be either team can be number 8 seed or number 9 seed. So the way I picked the 8 and 9, I like the number 8 seed. Can you bring the screen?
Oh, you wanted me to bring that back up? I was trying to get rid of it as quick as possible. Okay, here it is.
Because it's the Warrior, Curtis Warrior, because I'm biased.
So you're going with the Warriors?
Yeah, because my daughter's graduate Curtis School.
I didn't even know you had children.
And you graduate Curtis too.
Yeah,
well, I got to support you.
Can't bring that up too often around here. People throw stones. All right.
Okay,
your final pick. Very important here. It's the year of the dragon, ladies and gentlemen. Big times. Bookie going hard with CSI McCown, the 12 seed versus number 5 Port Richmond this year.
Well, the CSI McCown, the mascot is dragon.
Yes.
And this year's the Chinese lunar calendar years is year of the dragons. I go with the dragons.
I can't blame you.
Besides the traditionals, I mean, the NCAA basketball tournament, the 12 and the 5 is very interesting.
It always is. And yes. I just want to say this. I really hope that CSI McCown pulls off the upset against Port Richmond in the first round.
Because in the real tournament, there were 53 times happened since 1985.
In college basketball.
Basketball.
But if they make it to the quarterfinals on Saturday, Bookie, we've been told that you will dress as a ceremonial dragon, in which we'll get somebody, possibly the Commodore, to fly up and be the tail, and you are going to swirl around for the starting lineup. Yes, that sounds fantastic.
Okay.
All right, Bookie, that was a good starting segment. You're fired.
Okay.
Congratulations. When we come back in a hot second, we're going to have Charlie Donohue. He is the president of the Boys Staten Island High School Basketball League. He's going to be joining us to talk about who's a potential bracket buster and somebody who has much better IQ than all of us when it comes to local sports knowledge. It's a man that's a legend in this town, and Charlie Debiase of the Staten Island Advance. He's going to be joining us when we come back. Absolutely.
Oh, we have a tremendous lineup.
Don't change that dial.
Shows tonight.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Don't change that dial. Nobody cares. Be right.
Nobody cares.
Broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, Charlie Donohue, president of the Staten Island Boys High School Tournament, as well as the head coach of the McKee Staten Island Tech varsity squad. Welcome to the broadcast. Great to see you again, brother.
Thanks, brother. Always great to be back. Even though today I'm playing second string to the Bookie. I don't know.
It's a lot, and people are upset. And I wasn't expecting to get hate mail directly here in the booth, but that's a new start to it, I guess. We're talking a little bit about brackets tonight. We had a show on Sunday, the first ever Sunday sit down. It was a tremendous success. Had well over 1,000 people tune into it as we learned the seeding for the tournament. But what I found, Charlie, was after the show, and I feel whatever happened with you may have been contagious, where there was a lot of text messages coming into the phone and a lot of DMs that I didn't have the answer to. People had all sorts of questions of the times of the games and who wins and who plays where if this team loses, etc. And I was like, to be fair, I don't think these people understand that I'm really bad at my job. So I was like, Nobody Cares Live is coming up on Tuesday night. We're going to have some people in the building that know what they're talking about. Charlie, you are that man right now. So I'm going to bring up this JV bracket. It's something that we didn't have created on the last show. As we look at Moore and Peters and the big dogs, it's hard for you to root for anybody other than the McKee, Staten Island Tech Seagulls, and both programs, JV and varsity. But if you look at a dark night, a sort of a Cinderella that can happen and be a bracket buster here on the JV bracket, is there anybody that kind of pops off the map for you?
Well, I'll say this. After the sit-down Sunday sit-down, the dust has now settled, and everybody's now kind of making their road and looking to see who they're playing and figuring out their strategies. And I looked at it very closely myself, and I see a lot of good teams. The one thing I don't really know off the top of my head is the whole Catholic division, because they're right neck and neck, and I didn't really see them that often. But I did see everybody else in the public school, and I got to say, man, there's 7 teams that could win the tournament. Literally 7 teams that could find their way to the championship. And that's a great tournament. When you see that, and I know everybody wasn't happy with their placement initially, but the road is the road, the journey is the journey. And right now, there's a way for everybody to get there. It's play well, beat the guy in front of you, and handle your business. So, like I said, a lot of times in tournaments like this, you kind of know who's going to be the 2 there, especially in the varsity. You kind of have an idea. The 1 and 2 have been dominant all year. But in the JV, I feel like right now it's up for grabs. It really up for grabs.
So we look at the varsity, as you mentioned, and you could say easily that there's some teams that jump off the page. As we mentioned, Bookie sarcastically and seriously really likes the CSI McCown Dragons this year. I kind of like them too. I'm going to be completely real with you. And I also, if I was going to pick a team to possibly jump off the map here, it's going to be that Farrell Petrides matchup. I think that's a really 2 well-contested teams. Farrell hasn't been playing too hot down the stretch lately, and they got to come out and represent. Hopefully that's not bulletin board material. That probably is. Nobody cares.
I mean, listen, at this point in time, everything's bulletin board material. But, I mean, just like you said, you mentioned CSI. CSI is a tough team. When you got a guy in a tournament like this that could score a lot of points, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
Port Richmond has the answer to that, too. They got a guy that could do it as well. So it's going to be interesting to see who rises to the occasion. But the bottom line is it's what group is going to be the toughest, what group is going to stick together the longest, and what group is going to make the least mistakes. And if you're one of those teams and you find your way, listen, it's going to take a little magic to win a tournament.
My man just said the team that makes the fewest mistakes and commits the least amount of turnovers is going to win. Similarly to whoever scores the most points is going to win the championship. Now somebody to add a little bit more basketball knowledge to it, a legend in the sports writing community, and even a little bit more than that in your local hometown. Couldn't get him down here to Jimmy Max tonight, but we're happy to have him here digitally on the screen, Mr. Charlie Debiase of the Staten Island Advance. Charlie, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. You know Charlie well, don't you?
What's up, Chuck?
Hey, Chuck.
I see what's going on here.
Oh, no, that happens every night that we talk about all teams. When I call them or text them, it's always, what's up, Chuck? That's how it starts with both of them.
Right. We're both Chuck.
You're both Chucks. I'm Danny, and nobody cares. Welcome to the show, Charlie. We appreciate you coming on. As we mentioned, me and Charlie Donohue have been receiving loads of hate mail. Now, I often get it. He's been getting it seasonally, and welcome to the party, pal. Charlie, you're on a sports writing committee, and these committees like the Sports Writing Hall of Fame and any committee that exists in the sports world exist because decisions have to be made that are far too difficult for one person to choose from. And so we rely on a group of collective people that think like-mindedly for the better of whatever the cause may be to come up with a decision that we all have to live with. And Charlie, I know that you're on the varsity committee, so you could shed more light on the varsity bracket than you can with the JV, but you also don't live under a rock in this town. You've got, your finger right on the pulse of sports here, and you've been involved in this game for a long time. So to go in line with the tournament, I'd like to start out talking about the JV, if that's cool with you.
Absolutely. Let's roll, baby.
Let's do it. Nobody cares. Hot start. I'm terrible at my job. All of this looks the same to me. You guys are professionals. The only words that I've gotten off the street. Some kids have reached out to me from various teams, and they've said, Moore is a great team. St. Peter's is a great team, but, C is a great team. But we have questions like Newdorp. Some kids said, hey, Newdorp went undefeated, and they come in this tournament as a 6 seed in the JV bracket. And I think just a lot of people in the sports world were a little bit surprised by that. I'm bad at my job. I'm a novice when it comes to this stuff. I figure I'll leave it to the professionals. Do you have any reason why you could see Newdorp coming in at 6 and 5 other schools going ahead?
You're talking to me, right?
No, yeah, I'm talking to you, Charlie.
I bet. Okay. Listen, I know Ray Palma a long time, and he's done a phenomenal job this year. Obviously, finishing undefeated is not very easy to do. But to me, one of the things that are very important when you come up with seeding is strength of schedule. And I think what a lot of people took into consideration, just to guess, because as you said, I wasn't on the JV portion of the committee, but I think a lot of people took into consideration the strength of schedule. And that's a big reason why I believe some of the Catholic school teams, and Curtis for that matter, because remember, Curtis played a much tougher schedule this year as well. I believe that's a big reason why those teams were probably ahead of Newdorp in the seedings.
That's a valid argument. How do you feel about that, Charlie?
Well, listen, anytime we ask a guy like Charlie Debiase to be involved, obviously we know what we're talking about. So I will say this. When we thought about the committee initially, the idea was who knows us, who really has been around, who's a community guy. And when we picked the idea of the committee, obviously there was a lot of people that showed interest that obviously know a lot about basketball, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody else. But the team, the division, all the Staten Island High School coaches, we felt like this was an important decision to get people that knew what they were talking about as far as us in particular. So when we reached out to Charlie and the rest of the crew, obviously they were the guys, and we hold complete confidence in what they do. And I honestly agree with Charlie, the fact that, yes, the division does hold weight. Not to take anything away from Ray's team, because Ray's team did play a lot of other teams.
But there were other squads that had, a little bit tougher hills to climb.
Well, initially, but I'm not going to take away from Ray, because those guys did go out off the water and play other teams that had really good records, and they wanted to play other teams.
Right.
It wasn't trying not to play them. It's just that the way that, everything fell out.
This is the way the lemon shook from the tree with the competition that we have. All right. So strength of schedules and everybody else had a tough hill to climb is what I'm hearing from. And the competition is fierce this year. You mentioned that JV is really wide open. So what do the seedings really even matter? It's so wide open. That's an argument that can be made, to be fair.
I mean, there's 7 teams, like I said, that could make it there and win it. It's not like, it's a 2-horse race. It's 7 teams that whoever plays the best, whoever gets the hottest is going to be standing there at the end on the 15th.
I appreciate your insight, Charlie D. I appreciate you as well. We're going to jump into the varsity bracket. It's what we call the main event in this town. We're going to be broadcasting the quarterfinals, and these knockout rounds start this week before the weekend even approaches. Want to get into some game times, right? We want to talk about what, not necessarily, we don't have to get into game times, but let's tell people where the games are being played.
Okay, right. So you want to start the varsity or JV?
Let's go varsity.
Okay, so the varsity, we have 3 venues on Thursday night, the 8th. We have Farrell will be hosting, Moore will be hosting, and Port Richmond will be hosting. So we have a really great lineup of games and teams that are going to be playing. The matchups are great. I mean, the way it fell out, you might not like it, but it's going to be exciting to see, like, some of these heavyweight matches are going to take place. Going back to that Farrell-Patrides game, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of bulletin board material, but there's 2 really good teams that are going to battle it out. It comes down to styles make fights, and obviously Patrides is playing an up and run gun style, and Farrell is Farrell. 47 passes before a layup, and
everybody's got to touch the ball 16 times. That Dunn offense.
Yeah, but you can't argue results, man. They got all the way to the state,
man,
and Mike Dunn's an amazing coach.
And he's a tremendous coach and a big fan of Nobody Cares. But I will say this, though. Look, I'm that casual basketball fan that doesn't have a son or daughter that plays high school sports. I don't know games unless I'm at it to work. I'm not emotionally invested in any way. When I look at a bracket, I look at a bracket from the standpoint of we have a lot of fans that moved off Staten Island years ago. They want to know what's going on with local sports, so they tune into Nobody Cares. And I think the casual fan looks at this bracket this year and looks at a couple of teams and says, wow, Eagle. Who's Eagle? Petrides, CSIM. What is this stuff? And for me, I didn't even realize until last year that CSI McCown had a team for over 10 years until I got roasted by my friends on the network. Eagle has jumped recently into the fold and is making plenty of noise and is no slouch. And you look at Petrides as a school of, not only does this school have a real program, but they're making real noise and real waves. So I had no idea that Petrides was a squad, the way that the community came out like, I can't believe they're at 10. They had a better year than that. And I looked at it like, I can't believe they're at 10. This is unbelievable. Like, if this is the game, then this 10-7 at Farrell could be a game for the ages. Yeah. What do you make of that? Am I like completely wrong? Of like, have I misread this situation in local sports? Or, you know, like, how was this 10-7 sort of shaken out? Like, when you look at Petrides, does it also come down to like that strength of schedule thing, Charlie, where other schools just kind of have a harder road to climb or a harder hill to go up?
Well, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like this year, Petrides' team is senior-based. It's a tough group. They've been together for a long time. So now I feel like they've really raised the bar at their school. I think I heard Coach saying the other day that they have 17 wins this season, and I think it took like a whole lot of years to get 17 before that. So obviously, you know, timing isn't everything. And these kids right now believe, and now they're probably, you know, more motivated now than to go out there and get it done. But they got a tall task, man. You got to go into Farrell in any year on any time zone. You got to be ready for Farrell to play at Farrell. So
the Lions Den is no fun. And I believe, Charlie, you're a St. Peter's graduate, are you not?
I am.
Charlie D. All right. So Charlie D is a St. Peter's graduate, but you're very familiar with Farrell. Right. When you look at this matchup, are these teams really close? Is this a closer game than people look at, where the 10-7, like this could potentially be an upset for Petrides?
I think it's definitely one of the two most intriguing games in the opening round. Absolutely. You know, Nick Lazzoli did a terrific job with Petrides this year. He has I think 4-year varsity players, and everything has come to fruition for them. What a lot of people don't realize, and it's going to be in my matchup story tomorrow, is that he broke the school record. The record was set by Troy McGee, 15 wins back in 2009. And Nick broke the school record there at 17 right now. So he's got 3 veteran kids on that team that are put them 17-5 so far. And then listen, Farrell has been struggling a little bit of late, but Farrell is Farrell. And one thing you know is that they're going to emphasize defense. They are playing at home, which is an advantage for them. And Farrell's a lot of coaching staffs on Staten Island are terrific, and Farrell is right up there with them. So they're going to game plan. I'm covering that game, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see that game on Thursday.
That's what I'm saying. It's one that pops off for me, and like I don't look at it and I'm like, Petrides, Farrell. Like, I don't know, man. If I stepped out of a time machine, I wouldn't believe that Petrides Farrell was the game that hype was around in the opening round of the Staten Island High School League tournament. But it goes to show you how much this league has grown and how much competition is out there. And when people are upset, man, you know what that means? It means that people are invested in local sports, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Buzz is good for the community. Charlie, Debiase, we appreciate you coming on tonight, man, and talking a little bit about the bracket. Before you go, can I get a dark horse from you, a little Cinderella? Who's a team that can make a lot of noise? Give me one from the JV and one from the varsity bracket, somebody that normally wouldn't get talked about that can make some noise this year.
All right. So for the JV bracket, what some people might not understand, and you're going to be like, that's a dark horse. Well, this year it is Monsignor Farrell, because Farrell is the 5 seed. And what a lot of people don't realize is that Farrell in the Staten Island division started the year 0-3, and then they ended the year. They only played 6 games. They won their last 3 games. They beat Moore, then they beat Peters, and then they beat C. So Coach Detrone seems to has the Lions hitting on all cylinders at the right time. as you guys said a couple of times, it's a wide open division. Anybody can win, but I don't know if you could call them a dark horse. But when you consider the way the season started, I think Farrell at the 5 seed should be considered. And then on the varsity side, you know, there's a lot of teams in between, and I did to say before that between 3 and 10 in the seedings, it could have been jumbled up any old way. But it is what it is. We had to put numbers out and all. But to me, I guess the dark horse would be St. Joseph by the Sea, who played probably as good a defense as I've ever seen them play in all my years of covering and playing high school basketball against Farrell on Friday night. And if they play that type of defense the entire tournament, I think they're going to be right there, maybe to pull off an upset or two. So my pick, JV, is Farrell, and not my pick, but my dark horse pick.
Dark horse. That's all we want. We want the dark horse. I like it. I appreciate you coming on the show tonight, Charlie Debiase. We'll check you at the games this week. We appreciate everything you do for the community here near and far. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Chuck.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me.
Tremendous. Nobody cares, Chuck. It's a term of endearment when you say nobody cares.
I like it.
You want to give a dark horse before I kick you out of here? Because we got Josh Suslak. He's a champion coming on in the studio next.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the Sea Girls, man. That was an amazing tournament. It was great to see that level of basketball, and look forward to seeing it for years to come, man. That was really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, they destroyed everyone that was in their path, I believe.
Yeah, pretty much.
But kudos to everybody else. Phone's ringing. Remember 1985 when the phone rang and you have to sprint across the house before anybody else answered?
You're on a wire.
No, I know. Anyway,
so dark horse.
Dark horse.
Let me see the bracket again.
You want me to bring up the bracket again?
Bring up the bracket. Let me see.
All right, so JB bracket right here for you. Let me get a dark horse out of the president of the league for the JV.
Well, you know what? I mean, they made a lot of noise throughout the season. They were undefeated. And honestly, at the 6, that would be something if the New Dope Centrals came back and did what they had to do to get all the way there, fight through, and, just that'd be the proof that it doesn't really matter where you are. It's just how you're playing. So I can see New Dope getting there. Like I said, we saw them beat up on our team twice this year, and I seen them run through the division 10-0. And, it's not Ray's fault who they put in this division.
I love it.
Yeah,
I like that's a fun pick. I like to see it.
I could see that,
We're gonna move along to the varsity bracket.
All right.
Give me your Cinderella. Who could potentially make some noise here coming out of this first round?
Well,
wait, hold on. I gotta say this. You're a McKee coach, so everybody knows you're gonna say McKee, right? So we understand McKee, right? We understand that. If you could get exercise the demons here and
let me say a little
body.
Let me say a little something about my team, because honestly, I really been taking a back seat with my guys, trying to do the right thing by the tournament. But listen, I got a young group that's been fighting hard, that's finding their way, and I'm real excited about to see how they handle the pressure of the tournament. The tournament is something different. You get in front of that crowd, you got to do what you have to do. We got a senior leader in Scotty McCormick that's really turning it up. We got a really good group of young guys that I feel like, honestly, if they looked at it right now as this was their last shot, we would be right there with everybody else. But it's a lot. We got young kids that got to figure it out and come together. So I'm proud of my group, but we got a big fight ahead of us, man. Just the New Dope in itself. Forget about looking past anybody else. In this tournament, I don't think you can look past anybody else.
Did you give me a dark horse, or did you just rant and represent your team?
I want to represent my guys.
I got you.
All right, guys. Good practice today.
Because I said, me, I zoned out. And then I was like, wait a second, did I get a pick from you?
Listen, man, I'm the president, so if I'm going to take 1 minute, I'm going to take 1 minute about my own.
No, I feel you. It's fine.
No, but honestly, the dark horse in this tournament.
I'll bring it up again.
Bring it up.
Here is the varsity bracket. You tell me who you like to be a bracket buster. Who's coming out of that first round making a lot of noise?
Well, the first thing I want to say is, honestly, we kind of breezed past St. Peter's and Wagner the other day because we were getting into so much exciting matchups. But man, we got 2 really good teams leading the charge on both sides of this bracket. Right? St. Peter's and Wagner have been playing an unbelievable schedule. They got an unbelievable lineup of players, great coaches. They got school-based support. Both those teams are going to be incredibly tough to knock out.
Yeah.
So anybody that's going to be the dark horse or get there, you got a tall task in front of you to do it versus those 2 teams. And you might have to beat both of them.
That's why it's a Cinderella story.
Right. So beating those 2 teams in 3 days or whatever it is something crazy. But honestly, like I look down up and down, and I love the Moore Curtis matchup because both of those teams with the right energy and the right momentum, that's going to be a fight on the quarterfinals at 11 o'clock on the 10th. So St. Peter's, I know they're the 1 seed and they're sitting pretty, and Woodsy, I know you're out there, but the bottom line is it's going to be a fight early for them guys. It's going to be a fight.
Bookie likes the Dragons. You've got your pick. I'm gonna send mine in right now. I guess I'm a Warrior guy, so I can't say Warriors, right? Because this is the game that we're playing.
Yeah, but you can say what you think.
You know what? I'm surprised to see Tottenville sitting at 3. I know they had a really good year, but if they can kind of stay hot, like we mentioned, C got hot the other day. Maybe Tottenville could be that team that raises some eyebrows.
Well, thinking back to the NCAA tournament, a lot of these teams that have leaders, that have guys that could put the team on their back, and Tottenville is one of those teams. I mean, you can't deny the fact that Lamb has been, the one that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. But when he was out, the team fought hard. I mean, to start the season, I think he wasn't there a few games. They were undefeated out of the gate. So they have a nice nucleus, and they got a leader. So, I know Coach Alisi has got to be excited about his seed.
No doubt.
But, come with that seed comes a lot of responsibility. You got to carry that 3 seed. You're supposed to be in that semifinal.
That's something. I mean, if we're talking like March Madness, you get in that top 4, you're sort of representing a region there. So Tottenville certainly has a lot of weight on their shoulders, but not so much a Cinderella, but perhaps in that bracket surely is. Charlie, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. In 25 seconds, we're going to have Josh Suslak, the head coach of girls varsity from C.
I just want to say one more thing. This is a quick announcement. Just want to remind everybody that all the play-in games at the JV and the varsity are going to be $10. So I don't want anybody going to the door and not realizing that's the situation. The Catholic school set the price. I just want to
I see what's going on here. No religion, no politics, but it's fine.
But that, and also
they got enough money.
If we end up at CSI, there are no bags, no book bags to come to the place. So I just want to make sure the least confusion, the better for everybody. We don't want any situations. We just want this thing to come and go and be what it is, the best event on Staten Island.
Bring your wallet and leave your bags at home. It's going to be a great time. You can watch the quarterfinals on Nobody Cares Sports Network. But more importantly, Charlie, you're doing a tremendous job. This is your 2nd year doing the tournament. I want to say thank you on behalf of everybody here at Nobody Cares Sports. We're happy to be involved with you again, brother. Great stuff.
Thanks, man. It's my family. I didn't forget you. My wife's name is Lauren. See you later, sweetie.
Yep. So you don't have to sleep on the couch tonight.
I said it wrong the other day. She yelled at me.
She sure did. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's Josh Suslak, and Doug Elwell is going to be leading the charge because I'm terrible at interviews. Nobody cares.
Contractor, no. I will not bow to any sponsor.
Sorry you feel that way, but basically it's the nature of the beast.
Maybe I'm wrong on this one, but for me, the beast doesn't include selling out. Garth, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome back, everybody. Josh Suslak joining us in the booth. Josh, you are the head coach of the girls varsity basketball team out of St. Joseph by the Sea, and you, sir, have won the first girls tournament that was held in more than 30 years. I just got to ask you live here on the air, how does it feel?
It feels great. First of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate being here. Appreciate all you guys do for Staten Island sports. But yeah, it was a heck of a run. Girls played as hard as they could for every second they were out there, which is no surprise knowing our team. Super proud of all of them from top to bottom. And, they did exactly what we prepared to do. So, it's been a great few days and historical for sure. And just happy and proud to make it happen.
Coach, it's an honor to have you on the show. You know that we have no money and we can't afford to pay you to be here. You're well aware of that?
Yeah,
all right,
course,
fantastic. So here's another man that definitely deserves a paycheck, and it is in the mail. Welcome to the broadcast, the one and only Doug Elwell. Doug, what up, kid?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm going to bring up his volume. It sounds like he's in a basement where he's got to be quiet for the kids.
This is my voice stand right now. That's the problem.
Yeah,
oh, wow. Okay. So I know Doug's a little bit under the weather. So,
Same,
Doug, why don't you, lead the charge here?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me, Dan? You good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. Josh, what's up, man? Congratulations, brother.
Hey, Dougie, thank you so much.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. So Obviously this is the first ever tournament for the girls. It's been talked about, for months now, and to have it done now. How do you feel it went? Do you feel the community was behind it as much as you wanted it to be? Just tell us a little bit about how you felt the tournament went in your eyes.
And wait, I don't know if you have do you have a TV on in the background that has Nobody Cares on?
I'm watching
Are
the
you?
Knicks.
Oh, I thought you were pulling. I thought you were pulling a Commodore on me, like the Howard Stern, where it's coming through 6 different stereos. I'm sorry, but no, go ahead, Josh.
No, I thought it was great. It was so important for the community for the girls to get this spotlight. It's something that's been talked about for many years. As long as I've been coaching girls, it's kind of been out there, and coaches have spoken about it. And I've been on the record in the past as probably one of the biggest questions I've gotten from parents throughout the years is, why don't the girls have a tournament like the boys do? A lot of them have siblings or cousins or are close to other boy players who have been a part of that great tournament. And we always kind of felt a little left out, a little kind of left behind. And, many reasons went into why it hasn't happened, but just thankful for our borough president, Vito Fasella, Gerard Nicholson, Chris Iris, Linda Rohrbacher, everyone that was involved and that pushed to make sure that one way or the other we got this done. And, was it perfect? Probably not. I'm sure there's ways we can improve it. And just like the boys, I'm sure from the first year to now have grown leaps and bounds in what they do with their tournament. So, we can only hope that we can continue to progress this and improve it each year. But, the community was behind it. Gyms were packed. Teams probably got some of the biggest crowds they've had all year for games, and to be able to get commentators and interviews and make it big time for the kids. It was special. And, like I said, hopefully we can only grow from here.
Absolutely, man. That we could always only grow from here. I mean, look at Nobody Cares. We're terrible at our job. So Doug knows that better than anybody. Doug, but seriously, this is just another I almost just feel like this is another piece of hardware to add into your case, though, because you've been on quite a run the last couple of years, and now adding this one into the trophy case. I mean, Doug, this one's impressive, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, and also, not just because he's sitting there right now, but
it's because you're sitting here now.
I'm a big Josh fan. I love the way he coaches. I love the way that he goes about everything. I love his demeanor on the bench, on the court, everything. Like one of my first times that I've sent my own son, to something was when Josh and Mike did a little clinic at St. Joseph by the Sea. So I just wanted him to be around people that actually enjoyed the game and loved it like the way I do. So I definitely have a lot of respect for Josh and his, especially, listen, big kudos to you, Josh, and also I got to shout out Bobby and Gene and even Coach Garrett.
Absolutely.
You guys are doing a great job of getting old players from Staten Island to come back and coach on your sidelines with you guys, which is a huge thing. Which is not I don't remember being around when I was growing up playing, where a lot of the players that were players from different programs and high school programs were coming back and coaching on your benches. So I think that's a huge thing that you guys have going for you as well. I know that you have.
Doug, his bench of coaches is stacked. Well, why those girls should be coaching at like D1 and D2 schools on the bench? Like, what do they do? What?
Yeah, I mean,
what's going on down there?
In reality, they do all the work. I just kind of, the figurehead of it all. But now credit to my staff,
like Cassidy and Lisa and all those girls. Like, what is going on down there? That's crazy.
Jackie Callie, Kristen Panarello, 2 great players, both played in college. Cassidy played for me.
Fantastic. I'm very shocked. I was pleasantly surprised watching the tournament and also watching games that we've done and stuff, Silent Night and all that kind of stuff. That we're seeing a lot of the old players come back and volunteer assist or become assistant coaches on the benches, which is a huge thing because these girls have to see that. You know what I mean? These girls have to see that this is, a cycle, and you want, the boys cycle, it happens all the time. Anyone that was an ex-player becomes a coach, and, there's plenty of coaches that have gone through the tournament and won the tournament as a player now is coaching and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that happens a lot on the boys side, but now on the girls side to see that is really nice. But, so another question I had for you, Josh, and because I'm sure there's a lot of CYO coaches watching this.
A hardball question coming right now.
Hey, that's all right. Shoot.
No, not at all. Dan, you know better than that. I'm not going to do that. One of the hardest things I have had to deal as a coach is coaching the Staten Island High School playoffs because there is, especially if you're a higher seed, is a target on your back. And, with the CYO schedule coming up, CYO tournament coming up and, things like that are coming up, as a coach, how do you prepare for the one and done elimination tournament with a lot of pressure on you because you are the one seed and because you're undefeated and because you're, having such a great season this year? How do you guys at practice prepare for a tournament like this?
I don't think that's first of all, that's a great question, but I don't think that's something you can prepare for the week of the tournament or the couple of practices right before you play. I think that's something that kind of goes into your philosophy all year long. I mean, for us, what I kept going back to was our schedule, the teams we played in our schedule, and the showcases we were in and some of the non-league games, and obviously the tough competition, in Tier 1 and the CHSAA. I think that's what helps prepare you for it, and kind of makes the girls a little bit more comfortable that they've been there before, Again, I don't think it's something that in practice you can simulate or make sure that you're ready for. But, overall, I think it was really being battle tested with playing a lot of tough teams throughout the year. We certainly felt the pressure. I know I felt the pressure as a coach, but also, at least from a coaching standpoint, past couple of years kind of felt like we've had a target on our back. So, it was not an unfamiliar situation. It's not always the most comfortable situation because, you could make an early exit at any time. You have a bad night and, kind of like the other teams have nothing to lose in a way. But, you just kind of also want that pressure. Pressure is a privilege. And we said that in the locker room before both games that, we earned the opportunity and, we felt prepared for it. So I don't think there's much else you could do.
Doug, that was a fantastic question, and one that I thank you for asking, because there's coaches out there that are going to jump into the JV and varsity tournament this weekend. And for a lot of those players, it's their first time experiencing it. The JV players have so many questions. They're like, what is this bracket? What is happening here? What do you mean one and done? This is devastating. Like, they think the party lasts all week, but it could end really quickly. But not for Josh Suslak and his Sea Girls Viking squad. Doug, we got to let you go because we've got legend Jimmy McBratney coming in the studio next. We also got the Commodore down in Florida. So, that's a whole hurricane, and we appreciate him. But Dougie, this squad, and Doug knows, girls basketball really well. I don't. For sure. That's all I'm going to say. But your squad, I really feel, I'm gonna make a statement here. I wish Charlie Debiase was around from the Advance to hear it, because it might add credibility. But I know the Commodore is listening backstage. I don't think there's been a girls basketball team on this island that has had this level of dominance since the St. Peter's Girls High School was open and running basketball leagues the way that they were. I really feel that it's been about 30 years since about the time that the girls tournament was in its heyday that we've seen a program like yours, from, as Doug mentioned, top to bottom, from the girls that are on the court to the girls that are coaching on the bench. Coach, you do a fantastic job down there.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. And, it all starts with the culture of the program and, things we've been able to put in place. And, I just can't say enough about the team we have, the kids we have. They believe, they buy in, they work together. They all have a common goal, and it trickles down throughout the whole program. So, and I think eventually when you have that in place, the results should follow, especially when you have the talent we have. So, can't say enough about them. Love them. And, so proud to be able to be the first champions here on Staten Island.
Appreciate you, man. Doug, I appreciate you too. Doug, I hope you feel better. We're going to try and have you do some broadcasting this weekend. You got to get some hate mail too. Nobody cares, right?
I'm used to it. Don't worry about it.
Fantastic stuff.
Thank you, Doug.
Doug's a Farrell guy. You know that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. I just had to throw that in at the end of that. All right.
Hell of a player, too.
Hell of a player, though, Dougie. Ray Finkel, one hell of a ball player. All right, Dougie, feel better, brother. Appreciate you coming on, talking with the champion, Josh Suslak. Brother, I got your name right and everything. I appreciate
look at that.
I
must really be doing something right.
You're doing something right, man. And the road to success continues here. You move on in the playoffs. We'll be rooting for you along the way, and you're running at state, back to back and all that. Right? So,
hopefully we keep it running as long as we can. So
no doubt, man.
We'll be working.
Appreciate you coming on the show,
appreciate
man.
You, Danny.
Eat a bar pie here at Jimmy Mac's.
Yeah,
it is the best. I had 2 so far today. I hate myself. We'll be back in 25 with the Commodore from Studio 44 in Florida, as well as the proprietor of this lovely joint here the one and only Jimmy McBratney, back in just a moment. Absolutely nobody cares. See if we got some music here. Do we? There you go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast. Bookie is just adjusting the mic for Jimmy McBratney, is the proprietor of this landmark location here in Staten Island, New York, celebrating 35 years. Jim, welcome to the show, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much. It's my privilege to be here.
Hey, man, it's our privilege to have you on. We're talking local sports here. You're wearing a STP shirt. I want to talk about this for a second. STP, St. Peter's High School. Windows, we are a proud supporter of Nobody Cares, okay? Windows, we are. Sent us swag bags before the show. Shout out to Beatrice Turnbull. She came out here and she said, Danny, I want to give you a swag bag. It's filled with all sorts of goodies. No alcohol. But there is, she included an STP Eagles football shirt, right? And I was like, this is how you get sniped in West Brighton, Beatrice. I'm a Curtis graduate. They keep pumping me with St. Peter's stuff. I want to tell you, I appreciate everybody at St. Peter's. It's not that I don't, but I value my life, Jim, right? And I get a lot of hate now from the Curtis grads, as is ever since football season ended. Believe that. Jim, welcome to the broadcast, brother. You are arguably one of the largest secret philanthropists here in the community. You do so much for it, where I just feel you kind of don't get enough credit, to be completely fair. I understand that you are a master pizza maker. Is that correct?
Well, I think master might be a little bit of a stretch. Pardon the pun.
Oh, well, I see what you did there. Sure. Yeah, Bookie wants you to make love to the microphone. He wants you.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. As he's doing the whole. I don't like when the Bookie does hand gestures. So it becomes very confusing. Jen Santoli Keen says she loves Jimmy rocking the STP hoodie. You see what I mean? You wear it on the air and people get jacked up about it.
Thank you, Jen.
No, you do. What I find is that people open pizzerias in this town every other day. And from what I hear, they all learn how to make pizza from the best. Is that real? Do people come to Jimmy Mac's and learn how to make pizza? Because I make pizza at home and it bubbles all the time.
Bad dough.
Oh, all right then. Shots fired immediately. Wow. All right. Bad dough. No big deal. I'll fix that at home. No worries. So all right, you know a lot about pizza and something else. You have a pie here. Okay, it's called the Who Cares pie.
Yes.
Ray Palma has been trying to get you to change it to Nobody Cares for a long time, and I said no, you can't because it's named. Your daughter named it some years ago.
Yeah, actually, my cousin named it.
Your cousin named it.
Yeah.
What's on it?
Meatballs, sausage, pepperoni, bacon, extra cheese, ricotta cheese, and pecorino romano cheese.
I was doing really good, Jim. I actually just started sweating as you got towards the middle of that sentence with all those ingredients. So thank you for letting me know what's on that. We're definitely getting one of those. You have a fantastic bar pie. You're celebrating 35 years in business, which is an unbelievable record for any business.
Thank you.
But especially here in the hospitality industry, man. I mean, I just got to ask you, do you have a secret? Or, I mean, can you give it away?
I am blessed with great staff. I have a wonderful staff. My kitchen staff has been with me for well over 20 years, most of the guys in there, and they're real, steady, consistent. I really have to credit my staff.
Well, Jim, we're broadcasting from a brand new party room here, and this isn't the same old Jimmy Mac's that I remember. Just on the other side of the wall, it certainly is. It's the place where everybody knows your name, but as you walk through the French doors, you find yourself in a somewhat modern, somewhat rustic, and extremely beautiful room for private parties. And tonight, for Nobody Cares Live, my hat's off to you, dude. This place is lit.
Thank you very much.
Seriously, we don't deserve to be here. You're a proud supporter of the Nobody Cares Sports Network. I just got to say, we don't deserve you, Jim. We really appreciate your support. Because of guys like you, we're able to get out there and do what we do.
I'm going to show my appreciation. I bought you and Bookie each a bottle of wine. It's the 35th anniversary edition of wine. Bookie can have his, but I need a prop bet from Bookie. You got a prop bet for the Super Bowl, Bookie?
Bookie's got prop bets, but he's a little upset that no animals made it to the Super Bowl this year. So we do have a local legend that I'm going to introduce onto the show right now. Possibly a legend in his own mind, coming out of the rugged lands of Stapleton. It's the one and only Commodore from Studio 44 in Florida. Commodore, how are you?
I'm terrific, Dan. How you doing today?
We're doing fantastic. Good to see the alligators didn't get you, Commodore.
Well, I tell you, boy, Super Bowl's coming up, and Gator's very popular down here. You're asking me about Super Bowl snacks? Well,
Super Bowl
start
snacks.
off.
Well, Jim was just asking about prop bets. He asked the bookie for a prop bet, not understanding the bookie barely understands English, nor is really a bookie at all. So he had nothing to say. He was just blank face. But I know you, Commodore, you're one of those guys that knows all about Super Bowl prop bets. Do you got a fun one for me?
Well, I think it's always great to go ahead and bet whether or not there's going to be a safety in the game, because something silly always seems to happen. All right. The odds on it are generally pretty good. It could be 12-1. It's great. I like that wager all the time. Another one of my favorites and a fan favorite is the under and over on the Star Spangled Banner at the beginning of the game. Who's singing it? How long is it going to take?
My favorite bet every year. How long is the Star Spangled Banner?
It's beautiful.
This is how you do it. You actually sing the Star Spangled Banner in your bathroom, and you set a stopwatch, and you see how long it takes you, and then you add some seconds to it. Now, Chris Stapleton did a fantastic job last year. So
I think the fans and your sponsors would pay gazillion dollars to hear the bookie sing the national anthem and how long it takes.
I completely agree with you. That is probably the best idea that I think.
There's the best Super Bowl prop bet I could give you, Danny.
That's really good, man. I appreciate you and everything there. Commodore, can you believe we had Charlie Debiase on the show tonight?
Oh, listen, long time coming to have Charlie. I remember back in the days when we were at Maker Park Radio down in Stapleton doing a show on Saturday nights down there. We had Charlie come in one time, but, there was no face behind anything. We were just a radio station, I think.
Just the radio and all that. Now we
I don't know. It's kind of weird. I can't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, and I got to remember this before we get going. I think it's great. The girls' tourney that took place, you can't place enough emphasis on that because girls' basketball is huge. And Doug brought out the fact that we now have graduating girls returning to their alma maters to coach. That's what creates good basketball programs. That's what it's about. Good, solid sports programs that are going to take these kids on to the next level with their educations.
We appreciate your enthusiasm, but you're rambling again. And just to get off topic,
that's what I do.
Jim, your wife's in the comments. She says to bring home a hot pepperoni pizza. Is that normal? I mean, she jumped right here into the. So you're in hot water here. You got to bring home pepperoni. I might need one. Am I the only one that's going to get the Who Cares pie book? You going to split one of those with me?
Jimmy Mack, please open up a pizza parlor down here in Florida. We can't get a good slice of pizza anywhere. Anywhere.
You got no pizza in Florida, Commodore?
No. There's no good pizza in Florida at all. You know where I got the best pizza? This is crazy. At Costco.
That's not pizza, Commodore.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Listen, that's absolutely not pizza. I need you to hang out for a hot second. We're gonna bring you back in. You're gonna join the bookie, and you're also gonna join. We've got Scotch the Cat, aka Kate Herman, who is probably the most knowledgeable sports bettor on the East Coast, joining us. So she's going to give it our hot picks and all that. Commodore, I just want to say, I see you have a beautiful shirt on. We're going to talk to you in a couple minutes. Last show, you had a beautiful shirt on, but then you went to have ribs, you said, as you went off camera, and a 32-ounce sweet tea, to which it exploded all over your shirt, and you came back dressed as a hunter, to which I was very confused, right? You were wearing a hunting outfit. You said you simply put it on because you confessed to me that you ruined your shirt from ribs and sweet tea. So can you promise me that you're not going to punish yourself with food for the next 7 minutes that you're off camera and save your shirt?
I'll do my best, Danny.
All right. No promises made here. Commodore will join us back here in just a moment. Absolutely nobody cares. Jimmy McBratney, have you any desire to join us on the road as at any of the games that we do? Would you ever want to jump in and do some color?
I would absolutely love that.
You would?
I would love that.
You hear that, Charlie? We got him, but we definitely can't afford you, but we're definitely going to have you on. We want a 3-man booth always, and we do that because we like to have our sponsors involved. I should have told you this a long time ago. Our sponsors are always welcome in the booth. It's one of the biggest perks about being fantastic. A sponsor. So if there's a game and we're doing and you want to be a part of it, and it's going to be like one of those things they do with the Yankees or the Mets, right? Where you can sit in for like an inning or something. Like you'd be able to jump in for like 5 or 7 minutes of a quarter, give your expertise. But you're a celebrity, man. We got to have you back. Bookie, what do you think? Bookie's never gotten a bullet that wasn't a high-speed bullet. Well, I appreciate you, Book. You're unbelievable. You gave us wine here. It's the 35th anniversary here at Jimmy Mac's. St. Peter's is represented well here tonight on camera. And this place is glorious. I don't know. I think we might have to do shows here from all the time.
You're more than welcome to.
I don't know. This is fantastic. Also, though, Jim, is there a real fire in this? Do you have a fireplace in this place, or is it just this hot in here? Because I'm sweating like a baby gorilla. Is it? You don't have a fireplace?
No fireplace. Just two 500,000 BTU pizza ovens.
Sweating like I'm at Exit in 1995 in Manhattan. Maybe even Sound Factory. It's too much. But Jimmy McBratney, local legend, owner here at Jimmy Mac's, tremendous success. Look at this. This is 2 presents tonight. We don't deserve you, man. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's my privilege. It really is.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We're going to see you in the broadcast booth soon. Ray Palma, you've got competition. Joining us once again in just a hot second is going to be the Commodore, and Bookie's coming back onto the fold. We got a few more minutes left in this show. Jim, thank you so much for all you do for the community, brother.
Thank you again.
And maybe I'll have you in the booth at the quarterfinals.
I would love it.
Oh, no, you're in.
All right.
I got Danny Lee's son. Danny, how old is your son? 12. Danny Lee's 12-year-old son is going to get a quarter. So we could definitely give Jim McBratney a quarter this Saturday, right? We don't take ourselves too seriously. You come out to the games, I'll see you there.
Right, God bless.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to be back in just a moment. We get some things right around here.
Strike.
Bookie, I cannot believe Bookie got a present. Bookie, come on down, man. Check this out. First of all, I need you to taste mine because I want to make sure that it's not poison. The people don't really give us presents around here. It's their own wine, 1989 to 2024. How do you like that?
1989.
You put that right there so everybody can see.
Years.
That's a great year. It's the year of the dragon, Bookie. You've got yourself a bottle of wine. That is absolutely fantastic. Commodore is going to welcome back into the fold here. We're going to be talking Super Bowl prop bets and our favorite things to bet on the Super Bowl. No animals in it, but I'll tell you what, that doesn't matter. We're going to have a good time with it. Bookie was listening to you the whole time, Commodore. Bookie, what's your favorite prop bet in the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah. This year's, like I say, first foremost, people was the how long to sing the national anthems. What is the odds? I mean, what's the over under?
What's the over under? I think it's like
9 minutes.
A minute.
No, it's like 2 minutes and 36 seconds or something like that. Typically. Come on, Bookie, get your act together.
Yeah, well, are you talking about the Chinese national anthem?
Yes.
Wait, no politics. Hold on. I'm sorry.
No politics. Okay, remember that? Okay.
Well, you know
what?
either way, they're all the same.
If you're going to go with prop bets, you got to start at the beginning of the game. Okay. The first thing you're going to bet on is the coin toss. It's either going to be heads or tails. It's 50-50. It's like going to the roulette table and putting black or red.
I take tails. Tails never fails. I'm taking tails.
Oh, there you go. Bet, black. It's a sure thing.
Okay.
I don't know what to tell you, but it's a good way to start.
Here's one of my favorite prop bets, and we're gonna have the greatest prop bet masters, as I like to call them, and they are legends here, Commodore. They used to have a show here with us as we started our endeavors, and now they make a triumphant return. And Jerry McKenna and Kate Herman, aka Scotch the Cat, they're going to be joining us.
Cool.
Bookie and Commodore talking about prop bets.
What are we going to do that tonight?
Commodore. Yeah, and I'm going to mute your microphone, Commodore, and you're going to have a great time. And then but you got to smile and act like you're not muted.
Look,
can you do that?
I got my own microphone. Look, Danny.
It's not even real.
It's a toy.
Commodore.
Okay.
Is that a prop bet? Like the first snap will be a fumble?
Well, Bookie, you could get a line on anything in Vegas if you look for it. You know as well as I do. Crying out loud. They'll bet you what time the sun is going to come up out there.
Definitely, I have. If you go to my CV13s bats apps, you can find all kinds of prop.
He doesn't
bats
have
on that.
He doesn't have an app.
You're not for real, Bookie. You don't have an app.
Not
We've been trying to tell you.
Don't download anything off the internet that says CB13. It is the black plague for your phone. Comes from the black market. It's no good. Commodore, I'm just going to mute you for a hot second, but I'm going to leave you on screen. Okay, so stay right where you are. Breath of fresh air. You hear that? All right. Kate and Jerry, they have made more money in sports betting than we have made in sports media. That's for sure. They're joining us live tonight from the beautiful lands of Manhattan Island. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jerry McKenna and Kate Herman to the show. What up?
What's going on, guys?
Hi.
What's up, guys? First of all, Happy New Year. Haven't seen you guys since last year.
First of all, that was like a month and a half ago. You don't say Happy New Year in February.
If you don't see the people for over the year.
Happy Chinese New Year is like this weekend.
Yeah. Chinese New Year's coming up now.
Yeah, I'm wishing them the Chinese New Year, not the American New Year.
Okay, I gotta mute you too, for Christ's sake. Kate and Jerry, welcome back. It's good to see you. I've been dealing with the nuts. They're running the nut house here. I need to talk to some people that actually make money through prop bets and betting and picking good players that are going to have good games in the Super Bowl, and somebody that's not going to talk about Taylor Swift. And I feel like you are exactly those people that I need.
Thank you so much.
There's no Trevor Lawrence in the Super Bowl, so you don't have to talk about his hair. Jerry, congratulations. Kate,
I wasn't even thinking about bringing it up.
No, I want to get out all the angst early if we can. We were talking about our favorite bets, betting on like, is there going to be a safety? Is there, how long is the national anthem going to be? When you look at like fun bets for the Super Bowl, is there any fun bet that you look for in a prop bet that you say, I can't wait to bet on that with the Super Bowl this year? That's not typically offered for the other games.
It's not. Oh, well, on DraftKings, they have this whole section called For the Swifties. It's all these prop bets based on her songs.
What does that even mean? I want to hear more about that.
And I can't say that I'm like, oh my God, I want to bet on that. It's just when you said that aren't typical unless it's a Super Bowl, like that's
not typical.
The craziest thing that I've seen.
I usually go for the coin toss. It's just like ripping a Band-Aid off. You get it over with right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah. I like
50 chances. Probably the best odds you're going to get all day.
the over under on the length of the what's it called?
Game?
No.
The national anthem.
National anthem.
Right. That's something else that we love. I think a bet that I would imagine, and I'll bring everybody's microphone up for this one. I think a bet that is probably one that everybody could bet on this year is how many times will they show Taylor Swift on TV?
Is she going?
Well, I believe she had a concert in Japan, correct? The day before.
She's got a concert in Japan the day before the Super Bowl?
Yes.
That's a long
like a couple
flight.
days before. And then
She's going to parachute in at halftime and land on the 50-yard line.
That's interesting. I also don't think that's possible. Commodore, I unmute your mic, and this is what you bring to the program.
Listen, I can tell you this, man. I don't know about lines on Taylor Swift. It's a flash in the pan. There's no guarantee that Kelsey's going to get there next year. Or, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So I think if you ask me, I'm going to tell you you're going to have the under-over is going to be 6 sightings, and I'm going to say it's under.
I like that bet.
I guess
I
it
don't
depends
see
what's
her at
going
all.
on, right? If
All
it's
right,
a
Kevin,
blowout,
I'm muting you
that's
for a
a little more.
second.
I don't think she's gonna be there.
I hope if she's not there, she's on video call. If nobody cares, could do video call. You guys could definitely do. Commodore, I had to mute you for a hot second. I'll bring you right back on. I'm
Do you
very
think that
sorry.
this is the closest Sam Darnold will ever get to a Super Bowl?
Without question.
Yeah,
Who does Sam Darnold play for?
he's a backup quarterback to Brock Purdy.
Oh, yeah. It's totally possible Brock Purdy gets murdered in the first quarter and Sam Darnold comes into the Super Bowl.
Nobody
And that would
wants
be
to
like-
see it. It's just
Except
funny that
for Sam.
he's on the sideline.
You know what? There's your bet
gotta
right
get us
there.
little next
Sam
year.
Darnold throws
Come
for
right
a
out of
touchdown in
the
the Super Bowl. If you bet Sam Darnold throws for a touchdown in the Super Bowl, you're probably going to win $1 million.
I don't even think they have a line on it because it's like
No?
such a horrific thought.
They didn't even have a line for like 2023 on him.
I don't even know they got a
If
line
he's
for
the
him
backup,
to the game.
I guarantee you we're going to see him for at least one play.
I agree, because if they're winning, they'll probably give him a Super Bowl snap.
There's no way.
That's crazy. I
Well,
agree with Kate.
Let me tell you, the KC defense is going to get after Purdy. They're going to ring his bell, and somebody's going to have to take a snap.
I agree with the Commodore.
I regret ever bringing this
I
up.
agree
Like
with
I don't even
Commodore.
like putting it into the universe.
We need to know
What do you
the
think
line
I'm
is.
doing down here in Florida? Fishing and hunting and playing golf all day?
All right, I got to mute the Commodore again. Valid point, Commodore. And once he brings up the fishing and hunting, Kate and Jerry, I'm like,
Commodore got a second career down there. He's making the alligators, what do you call it? The alligator meat chips.
Bookie, I got to mute you too. What the hell happened there with that last statement? All right, back to you, Kate and Jerry.
I have
Kate-
two really weird.
He's gonna ask a question.
I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was going to say, like, people might not be familiar with your level of expertise. Kate is really more of the daily fantasy. These are players that you can pick in this game for both squads, make a lineup out of it that not a lot of other people may have put together, and take home some money. Jerry, on the other hand, is more, I'm going to bet on one of the two teams. I'm going to bet on the spread. I'm going to play the money line, and he does the traditional gambling thing. What he does do, however, is he kind of does like the long shots, and he's like, yeah, bet your kids' tuition on the Jets making it to the AFC Championship. It's like, okay, you sound like a lunatic, pal, but I'll do it just because I like you. So I'm going to say, once you could say what you wanted, Kate, but I wanted you guys to kind of, Kate, if you can give some daily fantasy picks for players that maybe people aren't thinking of outside of George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and the usuals. And honestly, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put Sam Darnold in my daily fantasy lineup on Sunday. And if he comes in the game and throws a touchdown,
Never
we're all
know.
going to Jamaica. Tell
I'm going to take MVS in one of my lineups.
Ugh, why torture yourself? I'm gonna take Hardman.
Oh, that's smart.
So you got Marquez Valdez Scandling.
Yeah,
and you
MVS
got-
is so smart.
That's smart, but for some reason,
one pass.
they've been throwing to him for whatever reason. He doesn't catch anything, but they keep throwing to him. So maybe this is the week he catches.
I'll tell you a super fade, Kadarius Toney.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney. I think they left him at a bus stop. I'm
For
pretty
some
sure about
reason,
that.
so for some reason, use check is like all over, like props like on books and stuff, and it's just like such a weird. And I don't know.
Because his
like,
wife is making jackets, right?
oh, for
Is that
help,
that guy?
is it a Taylor Swift really?
Is that guy?
You know
It
what?
says his wife's making jackets,
I
so
was
they're
like,
putting him in daily
maybe
fantasy.
for using a fullback.
I
there,
mean,
you know what
I
mean?
don't even know. But Dan, getting back to the actual game.
Talking Super Bowl bets with
he
the
has
best.
3 yards on the entire year.
So getting back to the game, the fact that like the
Commodore,
Chiefs,
you wait.
Chiefs are underdogs right now is very scary to me. Like if you told me this matchup 3 weeks ago, I would have been like Chiefs laying 4.5. And now that they're getting 2, it's a really weird, scary thing because you sound like you'd bet the farm on them. I don't see how. I mean, they won 2 games on the road to get to the Super Bowl, and the Niners almost lost both games at home to get to the Super Bowl. It doesn't. So the line is very scary to me. I think a lot of like tech guys in San Francisco are putting a lot of money on San Fran, and I think eventually maybe the smart money comes in at the end on Kansas City. But that's my feeling on that. It's a
Jerry
little
said that Silicon Valley is going hard on the Niners. Right?
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing, but they got money to throw around.
I just think that the 49ers were good all season, and the Chiefs were bad all season.
And the Chiefs are getting better now, and the 49ers are getting worse.
I don't think they're getting worse.
They should have lost to the Lions. They should have lost to Green Bay technically, and here they are.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Were you watching any?
They played really well in the second half.
Jerry, don't let her berate you. I appreciate you for what you're saying. You're doing a hell of a job on the broadcast. We welcome you back after a prolonged absence, far too long. Welcome back, Kate. On your side, what do you got for me? I like your contrarian lineups and things of that nature. Is there a lineup that you say, Danny, this is the quarterback? Are you? Is there any universe you take Brock over Mahomes?
Well, it's a showdown slate, so you just pick 5 people and a captain, and then it's just that the points are counted differently. So you could have both of them, but obviously the pricing of
it's going to be tough. There's going to be so many entries.
Because do you want McCaffrey over Brock Purdy?
It's going to be very hard to have like a unique lineup.
Well, that's why you're going to need one of these like randos. So like,
that's why I'm going to start Sam Darnold in one of them.
Hey, listen,
French.
does that make them tougher?
Commodore, what do you got? I think Commodore's got a question for you.
Who's going to be Super Bowl MVP this year? There's a prop bet for you.
Kittle.
Oh, a little tight end action. All right,
I think Kittle's.
You think Kittle's going to have a big game?
Yes, I do.
All right, so Jerry's going to go with George Kittle as the Super Bowl MVP. Bookie, who do you got?
Just to show up Travis Kelce, they're going to do it that way. Just for that reason.
I guess it depends on who wins, right?
Obvious, right?
Bookie.
The only way Kittle gets MVP is if Frisco wins.
Yes. Yes.
And that's not going to happen.
I know, but it's
all right, well, dude, it's just a pick. Stop yelling at the guy. I got to mute you.
Happen. They're favored to win.
Bookie, give me your MVP pick.
MVP?
Like a quarterback of one of the teams?
I would say the quarterback of 49ers. That's
right.
the biggest,
That's unbelievable. Bookie's going with Brock Purdy. And you know what? If it shakes out that way, we're going to play this next week. And we may be the only sports show that said that Brock Purdy's going to be the MVP of the Super Bowl.
I also like anytime touchdown for Ray McLeod, 22-1.
Well, I like that. 22-1.
Yeah.
That's a solid bet.
Jerry, is that a prop bet about which
If
team
you're
will
gonna
have
take
the
Ray Ray,
last,
you also take the defense.
last play of the game?
That's how he scores touchdowns.
Oh, the last play of the game. Like, is the last play of the game victory for
Last
the
snap.
nation? Is
jeez.
Is it a pass? Is it a run?
I don't even know. That's a good
good
question.
one. Bookie.
Yes.
That's a good job.
I mean, the line's so close that you would think it would be somebody running a play.
Right.
Even if it's taking a knee, it's still a play. There's got to be a line.
We could bet on anything here. I mean, the 5 of us. could
Bookie,
throw
set a
something
line on that, will you?
Bookie, set it up on your fake app.
Yeah.
But
It's the CB13, folks.
CB13. Yes.
I'm gonna. Bookie's Kate and Jerry. Bookie's been walking around the streets of New York City telling people that he has a betting app, and it's called CB13. And then people take out their phones, and then they try and download CB13 betting app. And when they can't find it, instead of saying "ha ha ha," I'm joking, he's like, no, CB13. There's a bunch of bad people out here trying to learn about it. So, it's not a real app. And he keeps telling everybody that.
And he's not a real bookie.
No.
You should get a real app if you're going to go advertise it and market it.
So
we could.
With the
talk to our tech company.
I'll sign up anytime you want. No
What
problem.
is CB13? How'd you come up with that fake name?
What, Chinese Bookie, the unlucky 13.
Oh, okay, I see. I didn't put that. All right.
CB13, exactly. Unlucky 13. This is Scotch.
Danny,
the
what
Cat.
are we working here? I put that together, and I'm a senior citizen for crying out loud.
It's a lot.
I haven't seen you guys in a while. So I'm a little
Wait a
rusty.
minute here.
I have put up. I've put up. God, son of a bitch, Commodore. I've had to mute you yet again. Don't worry, Bookie. It's not a family restaurant. What do you got? What do you?
No,
You're like a hostage.
Before Commodore, before.
No, I muted Commodore. Don't talk to Commodore. Talk to Kate and Jerry.
No, I want the Commodores to do the things like the love.
I want
sign.
people at home to follow Scotch the Cat on Instagram. This is what I've put up here right now. Okay.
Put me on.
Oh, they did the hearts
again. That's what I'm saying.
Kate, hold up the heart in front of your face and try and make hearts. Like do like a heart symbol in front of the camera and see if hearts come out. Will it happen? Why does it only happen with the Commodore?
I don't know.
What? Commodore, do it again. Commodore, do it again. Make the hearts. Do it. You son of a bitch bastard. Do it now. All right, you know what? You follow Scotch the Cat on Instagram. And the best part about this, Kate and Jerry, is people can listen to this tomorrow on Spotify. So you could be like, hey, listen to this shenanigan. Nobody Cares live on Spotify.
Nice.
Everybody can catch up to all your prop bets and everything else as they work out in the gym and drive in the car, and definitely unsubscribe after they hear everything.
You guys look and sound great. It was super to hear you both tonight.
I miss you guys.
Yeah, no, we miss you too.
Something crazy could happen with this game. Something weird. I don't like any of this line. There's a part of me thinks the Niners win by like 30 points.
Kate, what do you think of the game? Who wins?
I just hope it's like a good game.
Never is.
I like Rishi Rice a lot. I think his line, that's what the prop bet that I liked was because his receptions were 6.5. He's gotten targeted at least like 6 times. But it's plus money. Yeah.
It's not bad.
All right.
They get on Kelsey. He's the only receiver that you can
What is over under the line over under of
Niners.
The penalty of the games?
You're asking them crazy shit. These people, they don't have all this information in front of them. It's so crazy. Jerry, Bookie thinks that you're a mathematical genius from the math that you've done live on the air over the years. Like, he's like, that Jerry is super smart. I'm like, hold on.
Andy Reid's not going to lose.
He might not be super smart, but he's good at math. No, Andy Reid doesn't really lose Super Bowls. That's all I know. But
not going to happen. No. With his coaching staff, with Spags, come on, they're good. And listen, the defensive line coach out there is none other than Joe Cullen, who's on our broadcast here several times.
And they won the Super Bowl last year.
That's right. We're pulling for him. So Joe is sporting the Super Bowl ring.
I don't understand why they're underdogs.
They were underdogs in the last game.
I know, but it's still weird to me. Last game was away.
It's all about the money. It's a sucker bet.
Yeah, it is all about the money because it doesn't make sense that they're underdog.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins.
Well, the working man is a sucker. Commodore, we appreciate you coming on. Kate and Jerry, we appreciate you coming on. Kate and Jerry are going to be mainstays every week. We want them to come to Staten Island because every week here we're going to have a new show at a new restaurant and bar, right? So this week we're at Jimmy Mac's. Last week we're at Jay's on the Bay. Next week we'll be moving around to another sponsor or to another new restaurant. So
you two, whenever got the times and all,
food's on us. You know what I mean?
Danny and the Bookie, man.
Food tour and a free dinner.
Yeah, we'll do a food tour and no more cabs and all that stuff. Pick you up from the ferry and we'll have ourselves a good time. Bookie's not driving you, by the way. He makes me nauseous in the car. I think we all can agree on.
I'm going to download your app, Bookie.
CB13. You get paid in yen, by the way, not American dollars.
Yes, you bet in dollar, you return investment.
You bet in dollars, you get paid in yen if you win. It's totally bullshit. Completely.
Hey, Danny,
yes.
I got to get out of here and eat, man. I got to eat when I do
Get
a
the
show.
hell
I
out
got
of
to
here,
get out
Commodore.
of
Your
town,
blood
man.
sugar's getting low. Nobody.
Come on, I got to get out. I don't get out much.
Right.
There's a lot of places in here.
Commodore, I'm removing you from this group. Say goodnight.
Hey, everybody, let me give my shout outs. Everybody have a great week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I want to give a shout out to my fans, everybody, St. Louis, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, wherever the hell you are.
Rhode Island.
Oh,
What time? See you next week.
I got rid of the Commodore. Kate and Jerry, I'm saying good night to you too. Thank you so much.
Night. Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.
Good night.
When you come
Thank
back, we
you.
got baseball and March Madness and all sorts of other stuff. So don't
Johnny's
you go
baby.
anywhere. We
St.
need
John's.
you for everything.
South Carolina.
We need you for everything. Kate and Jerry, we appreciated you. Follow Kate at Scotch the Cat on Instagram. Jerry, you can follow him. Just don't, mimic any of his actions. That's all I can tell
He
you.
was a stalker.
Stay 2 blocks behind me.
Yeah, at least 2 blocks. And don't make it obvious when you follow in a car. We appreciate you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy your Super Bowl.
See ya.
Good night, folks.
Bookie, you're fired. Take that bottle of wine home. That's your bonus. It's your Christmas bonus. It came a little late this year. To everybody out there that tuned in this evening, it was fun while it lasted. We're probably out of business, but just in case we're not, you can tune in on Saturday as we broadcast the Staten Island High School League quarterfinals.
You can attend the games. There'll be we're doing games.
You can come out to the games, bring $10 with your wallet. That's how much the admission is.
Where's the tournament going to play at?
We'll be at Patrides. That's all I know.
Patrides. You got to tell the people. You got to let them know that.
Nobody cares. Shout out to Windows. We are bringing us swag bags.
Yeah, show me the swag bag.
They brought us St. Peter's stuff. They brought us St. Peter's stuff, so we can never wear that. But they brought us shirts, other shirts that don't say St. Peter's.
And the hats.
St. Peter's we love. It's a big sponsor and supporter. Nobody cares. But if I wear this,
go Eagles.
I die. That's fine. Go Eagles. Go Eagles. Bookie. Send your hate mail to the Bookie. Commodore, we appreciate you down there. Studio 44, Doug Elwell joined the show tonight. He interviewed Josh
First of all, I
Suslak.
want to wish Dougie get well soon. All right.
Get
We
well
need you
soon.
on a Saturday.
Coach Suslak joined the show this evening. Charlie Debiase of the Advance. Charlie Donohue of world-renowned McKee Staten Island Tech and president of the Boys High School League here. Danny Lee in the house. Didn't come on the broadcast booth, but joined the studio.
Dragon. Years of the Dragon.
Yeah, no, the year of the dragon. He's got you. He picked you. So kiss of death, pal. He mushed you. It's over. Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay, great. So behind the scenes, the 30 for 30 comes out next week. Absolutely nobody cares. Tune in next Tuesday night at 7:30. Who we powered by with this broadcast booth, buddy?
Main Street Coffee.
You said it, mister.